have finally settled into my new room and I have a desk. It's March, and that means one thing and one thing only. It is time for Persian New Year festivities. So for those of you who don't know, Persians all over the world, it doesn't matter where they're from or where they live, we follow a calendar called the solar calendar. What that means is that the dates and the day and the seasons and everything is calculated by the movement of the earth around the sun, which is pretty damn sick. And fun fact, all the astrology things like the months and what sign you are, blah blah blah, is based on the month that we have in the solar calendar. That being said, the new year that we celebrate as Persians all over the world is different than most of the new years that you've heard of. We celebrate the new year at the beginning of the earth waking up again in spring. That happens in mid of March. So depending on what other calendar you're converting it to, it's usually between the 19th of March to 21st of March. Now, the fun stuff. The month of March has 3 celebrations in it. First one that we're going to talk about is CHAHARSHANBE SOURI. The second one is the new year itself. And the third one is called pt.1, which basically is the end of the whole 2 weeks of celebrating the new year and the earth waking up and all of those stuff. I will try my best to talk about them in the most simple way possible in the next few videos. But in this one, we're gonna talk about CHAHARSHANBE SOURI. CHAHARSHANBE SOURI, the name itself, if I want to put it in a simple term, CHAHARSHANBE means Wednesday and Souri means to celebrate, or it has like 2 meanings, one of those words. It means celebrating something, or it comes from the heat of the fire. That was so bad. But anyways, most of the time, the main meaning is to celebrate the last Wednesday of the year. Now you might ask, why Wednesday? To be fair, nobody knows. It's because it's such an old tradition and it's such an old festival that throughout the history and throughout the time, it has been mixed up with other traditions from different places, and a lot of different cultures were mixed up into it, and therefore there's no specific thing why it's Wednesday, or has it always been on Wednesday? Nobody knows, but at the moment we do it for the last Wednesday of the year. I videoed this part before, but it was bad, so I'm gonna re-explain everything. So the celebration starts at the evening of the last Tuesday of the year, and it goes all the way to the next morning, the morning of Wednesday. Now, depending on which part of the country you're from or what kind of Persian background you have, the bits and bobs are a little bit different. So I'm going to explain how we, as in we, I mean like my family and my friends and the people that we know, celebrate it as a whole. And what we do is that we put up fire, odd number fire, and we jump through them. And when we are jumping over them or through them, we sing this song which goes like Zardi man az to surkhi to az man. And the whole point of it is that while we're singing it, we're thinking of all the things that has happened to us for the past year. And we are saying that we give everything that was wrong for the past year to you, to the fire, and we hope that you give your light and your warmth and everything that you have to us, so we can start the new year with good vibes. Now, there are different reasons why we do that as a whole, but there isn't one specific story behind it. Some people say that there is this literature mythology guy called Siavash, and his story is that to be able to show he's worthy, he walks through fire. Some people say it's because of that. Then there are other people who say we do this, or we used to do this, because of the health issues. So the fire would make you clean, and the fire is good for health and hygiene and all that. And then some people say that we do it in order because fire is a sign of the god in the Zoroastrian time. So a lot of stories is that we put up fire to not worship God in that way, but to have a symbol of God, Zoroastrian God, in our houses, to be like, well, thank you for all you have done for us, and we are ready to finish a year and start a new one. Now, just like I said, there are million bazillion reasons why we do this, that nobody knows why or how or when it started. But the main reason that we celebrate it now, to this day, is because of getting together one last time before the end of the year on the solar calendar, and be together, eat, laugh, play, jump through fire, say stories, you know, like end of the year good party, like a gigantic party that everybody, friends, family, everybody gets together, and they in a way say hello to spring, and everybody is getting ready to start a new year and get ready for a fresh start. All this time I thought the mic was on, and it wasn't. Oh well. Just like I said, throughout time and history, and depending on where you're from and what is your background, some bits and bobs are different here and there. But the main thing is that we get together and celebrate. We put on fire, and we jump through it. And the main one is that we sing as a whole, together while we're jumping. And we say Zadi Manastun Sofia Twasman, which is basically, just like I said, I'm giving you all the bad things that has happened throughout the year, and I'm getting good vibes from you for the next year. Hello, it is I from the future. While I was editing, I figured out I forgot to say two things. One, the whole point of this celebration and this festivity, other than us getting together, blah blah blah, is that the last week, we spend the last week of this year in the solar calendar to clean our house and basically tell the spring that we are ready for you, for your arrival, for the new year to start. So we clean out everything, we declutter basically. And the second thing that I forgot to say is that I remember my parents used to say that one of the other things that they would do in their time is called Qashoshanin, which is the equivalent of trick or treat in Halloween. Again, we don't do it. If we ever do it, we do it in the parties, but apparently it still is happening in like smaller cities that everybody knows each other. I'm not from a small city, so it's not very practical, and it usually doesn't happen. But what they do is that they cover their faces, and they have usually a bowl and a spoon is khashogh, and what they do is that they go to their neighbor houses and they start banging their spoon to the bowl that they have to say that they are coming to the house, and they get treats from the neighbors, which is fun and cool.